The iPhone 16 is here, and so in this video, I want to help you decide which iPhone to buy right now, depending on your budget, the features, and just help decide whether you're buying your first iPhone or upgrading from an older model. But also help you avoid the always present and very expensive but if issue that happens across every Apple product that they sell. But to get started, let's just run through which iPhones are currently available from Apple's own website. Now we of course have the newly announced iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, last year's iPhone 15, and the year before that's iPhone 14, with all of those available in two sizes, a smaller size and a bigger size. And then we have the baby of the family, which didn't get a refresh this year, or at least not yet, the iPhone SE. Now all of these are available in what's now quite a random selection of colors. Now Apple likes changing up the colors each year because, well, if they didn't, then you literally wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the same color iPhone, like 14 Pro and the 16 Pro. And to potentially point out the obvious here, we're at the stage now where you could buy any of these phones and you'll have a good phone. Like even Apple's cheapest iPhone SE is fast enough for anyone to use. Now, especially if you're spending over $1,000, dollars or pounds on a phone, then you absolutely won't be disappointed with any purchase here. Now, it just comes to narrowing down the features that you want for the price that you want to pay. Also, I would love to know this year, which phone are you coming from and which iPhone are you going to? Let me know down in the comments down below, because I'm just really interested to see what people are doing this year with their phone choices. Also, consider sending this video to your friends and family just to help them find the right iPhone for them. Hugely appreciate that. And then lastly, I've just spent $4,000 on 2 new iPhones to review and all the watches and buds and all those kind of things. So if you are enjoying this, if this is useful, please do subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. And there'll be videos coming up on those reviews of all the new kind of Apple products that are coming out. So yeah, thank you. Now, the other thing to consider here is where to actually buy from. Now, of course, buying direct from Apple is the default option, but Apple never offers any discounts, whereas others such as Amazon or Best Buy usually can beat Apple on pricing with various offers that run throughout the year. And when you are buying a new device, that is absolutely a good option. Now, you still get the full Apple warranty, you can still buy Apple Care, all of the good stuff. And I will leave some links down below to some of those places which are well worth checking out. Now, the only time that I would say just to be careful is when buying a refurbished device, since Amazon's refurbished can be a bit of a mixed bag with the condition and the warranty. So Best Buy and even Apple's own direct refurbished store is well worth checking out. Though of course you'll have to wait before the latest iPhone 16 models make their way to being sold as refurbished. And so for today, I'm going to focus on what's available on Apple's own website, but do just remember that you can usually pick up older devices such as the iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max from Amazon and other third-party sellers whilst they still have stock. So starting off with the budget buyer, someone who has a very limited budget and is buying maybe their first iPhone or upgrading from a much older one. Now the options you have on the cheapest end are the iPhone SE or the iPhone 14. And I would say this is a really easy choice and go with the iPhone 14. Why? Well, for £170 extra, here in the UK at least, you get a 1.4-inch bigger and higher quality screen. So, young or old, you'll get a nice big screen to view content. It's also an OLED screen versus LCD, so much better colors, much better contrast. And that is also protected with the new style ceramic shield rather than just a plain glass on the front of the iPhone SE. So it is less likely to shatter if, or rather when you inevitably drop your iPhone. Oh, and it is much brighter too for using outside. 625 nits on the SE, up to 1200 nits on the 14, which will be way better when trying to use this thing when outside and of course on a sunny day. You get double the storage, up from 64 gigs to 128 gig at the cheapest level. Both phones have the same A15 Bionic chip powering them, although the iPhone 14 gets one extra GPU core for better graphics performance, dual cameras over a single camera with the addition of an extra ultra-wide lens, and you can use the cinematic and action mode settings on the iPhone 14, which you don't have on the iPhone SE. The front-facing camera is upgraded from 7 megapixels to 12 megapixels, so that's going to be much better for FaceTime, and it can record in 4K, so again, better for taking selfies or just filming yourself. You get bigger and better battery life, some extra features such as emergency SOS over satellite, crash detection, and roadside assistance via satellite. You have Face ID over Touch ID, which in my eyes is much more convenient. Pun intended there. Better water resistance, MagSafe, faster wireless charging than on the iPhone SE. The only downside is that both of these phones still have a Lightning port instead of USB-C. So you're going to have to upgrade to at least the iPhone 15 if you want to get that, but that's only a decision that you can make here. And Apple Intelligence isn't supported on anything other than the iPhone 16 series or the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, which you can no longer officially buy from Apple anymore. Now, aside from buying the iPhone itself, we already know that they don't come with a charger, and I'm going to have a full video about the best iPhone accessories coming up soon, so do subscribe if you want to see that one. But whilst on a recent trip to Berlin for a tech show that I visited, my charging cable totally packed up. I literally couldn't charge my phone whatsoever. And one of my friends handed me a charger from a company called ESR, and just long story short, ESR kindly agreed to sponsor this video with a wide range of charging products. Now, firstly, a Qi 2 MagSafe battery pack that's only 15.5 millimeters thick, which is slimmer than others I've tested. This also keeps your phone cool whilst charging with a bit of a mixture of tech that monitors the temperature and keeps the temperatures below 37 degrees Celsius or 99 Fahrenheit. Like, imagine that kind of temperature in your pocket would be very, very warm. It provides 15 watts MagSafe charging for iPhone and charges an iPhone 15 Pro to 84% in 2 hours and 25 minutes versus 77% in 3 hours for most 7.5 watt power banks. And it has a kickstand. Next is their 3-in-1 MagSafe charger, which fully charges a 15 Pro Max in just 2 hours. It also has CryBoost cooling technology, which keeps your phone cool whilst charging. It also has a fast Apple Watch charger on the back, which fully charges the Apple Watch Ultra in 1 hour, 40 minutes, and is one of the more affordable 3-in-1 chargers available that can charge at these speeds. Oh, and they also have a 15-watt MagSafe charger for the car with that same CryBoost cooling technology that can charge your phone from empty to full up to a full hour faster than other chargers, and that is whilst driving with navigation running at the same time. So just follow the links down below to pick these up. And a huge thank you to ESR for sponsoring this video and saving my phone from dying on my recent trip. But there is one issue that plagues all of the Apple products that they currently offer: Macs, laptops, watches, iPads, phones, and those are but and if. But if I get the iPhone 14, I want the dynamic island. So I may as well spend a little bit extra to get the iPhone 15. Oh, but I want the bigger one, so I may as well pay the extra for that. But then I may as well get the iPhone 16 because it's the same price. Oh, and I don't forget to upgrade the storage as well, so we need to pay for that. And suddenly, you've gone from spending $500 to almost $1,000 on your phone very, very quickly. So just be sure to define what are the must-haves for you first. Like, get the storage space that you need, absolutely, and then look for the other features and go up from there. Now, in terms of how much storage space do you need? Now, if you are using cloud storage, something like iCloud, to store your photos, then anywhere from 128 gig to 256 gig will be plenty for most people. Now, I would class myself as a heavy user. I take a lot of photos, lots of videos. Now, I do have 2 terabytes of iCloud storage, and my usage on my phone is just over 128 gig right now. So I'd need a 256 gig to give me a little bit room to breathe. And, when I go on holiday, I've got space to download videos and those kind of things. And if you don't have cloud storage and store, everything on your phone, then of course you'll need to go even bigger than that, especially with some of the new video features on the new iPhone 16 Pro. Now, I would definitely caution anybody from buying a 64 gig iPhone nowadays. I've even had to help family members out where they've just filled their phone up, and literally there are no other options other than either paying a monthly subscription to iCloud or just deleting apps or photos or videos, all of which you just don't want to be doing. So just upgrade that storage and get the right size from the beginning. Now, before we get to the best premium iPhone, just a quick note here that with the introduction of Apple Intelligence this year, well, it only works with the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, along with the iPhone 15 Pro and the Pro Max, except you can no longer buy the 15 Pro or the Pro Max from Apple because, they want you to buy the iPhone 16. So you can probably pick them up from places like Amazon, but again, we're focusing on what's available from the Apple Store because that kind of inventory, that stock of iPhone 15s will go eventually. Now, in terms of the best flagship or premium phone to buy, this year Apple actually made it a lot easier with the iPhone 16. So you literally have 2 choices. You have the 16 or the 16 Pro. Okay, 4 choices. You get the big 16, the small 16, the big 16 Pro, or the small 16 Pro. But they are basically 2 different phones. Now, with last year's iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, they actually added some extra features into the Pro Max version, which really annoyed me and I think quite a lot of other people as well, because I wanted to buy a smaller phone, but instead I was forced to buy the bigger phone for those extra features. Now, for most people, the basic iPhone 16 is going to be the perfect iPhone for them. Like, you get a great screen, you get all the new features such as Apple Intelligence, the dynamic islands, action button, camera control button, all great stuff. But what do you actually get when going from the basic iPhone 16 to the Pro for the extra £200, at least here in the UK? Well, there is a slightly bigger screen that's now Pro Motion, so that runs at 120 Hz, which will feel much smoother to use than the 60 Hz screen on the regular iPhone 16. It's built with titanium instead of aluminium, whatever it's called. You get a faster A18 Pro chip, although for general day-to-day use, you won't really notice this difference unless you are, really pushing the boundaries of what the phone is actually capable of. Cameras do get a decent bump though. The ultra-wide goes from a 12 megapixel camera to 48 megapixels, and you get the additional 5x telephoto lens, which, as someone who has been using that for the past year on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, is so useful if you need to, try and zoom in on your kids or just something to snap a photo whilst they're running around. You also get the new features this year of 4K 120 FPS in Dolby Vision on the Pro, along with what Apple are calling their studio quality 4-mic array for improved audio recording. You also get slightly better battery life. It is still USB-C, but now it's USB 3 over USB 2, which if you transfer lots of footage via cable to your computer, this could be really useful to you for just those faster transfer speeds. You also get up to 1 terabyte of storage in the Pro, but only 512 gig in the regular 16. And that's because you can also shoot ProRes video on that Pro version of the iPhone, which will take up a huge amount of space if you don't use the right kind of third-party apps. Oh, and there's also a LiDAR scanner on the Pro version. Almost missed that. That's kind of one of those things that it lets you walk around and scan your room in 3D, but kind of cool feature, but nobody really uses it anymore. Bit of a gimmick, but anyway. So if any of those features sound like they are worth £200 extra to you, then sure, go for the Pro version or maybe the Pro Max version if you want that big version. Now for me, it is the Pro Motion display, the 5x camera, slightly better battery life, and the 4K 120 video. But that is mostly because it is my job to use those cameras and capture great footage. So genuinely, for most people that are watching this video that wants to buy the latest iPhone because it's the latest iPhone, go for the iPhone 16. It's a fantastic phone. But what if you've already got a relatively recent iPhone and you're thinking about upgrading? Now, I did a quick survey before making this video, and it seems that most people will upgrading from either a recent iPhone 13, 14, or 15 Pro, Pro Max, and so most people are going straight to a 16 or 16 Pro. But for those of you who are upgrading from, iPhone 11 or lower, you have some exciting choices to make. Now, right now, if you own an iPhone 11 or up, then you can get iOS 18, albeit without the Apple Intelligence thing. So most people will probably just pick up the iPhone 16 because, well, that's what their carriers are offering them. And it's the latest phone, so just makes sense, but just a reminder to check out the other phones on offer first, because the iPhone 15 is still an incredible phone, as is the iPhone 14. Or perhaps this year, maybe try switching to Android. Now, don't forget to click the links down below to pick up a charger from ESR. YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video next, so I hope you do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.